Good evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. On the programme tonight, the Congress has attacked the government over the secret NSA-level talks that were held between India and Pakistan in Bangkok on Sunday. However, was it wise of the government to have these discussions away from the glare of the media? Also tonight, is the opposition to Arvind Kejriwal's odd-even formula elitist or is it simply pragmatic? We have that debate in about 30 minutes from now. But first tonight, a day after the NSAs of India and Pakistan secretly met in Bangkok in a surprise development, Sushma Swaraj is off to Pakistan tomorrow for a conference on Afghanistan that was formally announced by the Ministry of External Affairs today. Sushma Swaraj will of course be attending this crucial meeting on Afghanistan, but at the same time, she will also meet her Pakistani counterpart Sartaj Aziz and will also call on Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Sources have said that these meetings could now lay the groundwork for a visit by Prime Minister Modi to Pakistan late next year when the SAARC summit is scheduled to be held. Well, was it wise for India and Pakistan to, in a sense, create a new template for discussions by moving away from the capitals of New Delhi and Islamabad and holding these talks in a third country away from the glare of the media? Or, as the Congress says, does there need to be more transparency as far as these discussions are concerned, and does this really indicate too many flip-flops by the government? Joining us on the programme tonight, senior BJP spokesperson Siddharth Nath Singh, Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, Rajya Sabha MP and spokesperson of the Congress Party, former diplomat Vivek Karchu is here with us, and Manoj Joshi, senior fellow at the Observer Research Foundation, also with us tonight. And we're also joined by General VP Malik, the former Chief of Army Staff, this evening from Chandigarh. Let me first, before I get the politicians in, ask you, General Malik, what did you think of this development over the weekend, sir? Do you think that this is a better way to conduct a dialogue, if at all?
Oh, firstly, Nidhi, I must say that this is a positive development. And apparently this train has started moving after UFA. It looks like that. So it's a positive development. As far as holding these talks abroad is concerned, you know, I think this is a good way to start because our media was becoming far too intrusive and there were too much of analysis, too much of speculation, and that was putting pressure on the people who have to do the diplomacy. Diplomacy, I believe, cannot be done in such media glare and with so much of pressure which is put on the negotiators. So I think in a way it's a good way to start abroad, and maybe after some time they can get back. Once its speed gets going, then they can hold it in India and Pakistan.
Let me take that to Abhishek Singhvi. Then Abhishek Singhvi, General Malik has welcomed this development, and as he put it, it's a positive development and a good way to start. And I'm sure the Congress knows from experience that India-Pakistan dialogues more often than not, end up degenerating into tamashas that play out on television. In that sense, Dr. Singhvi, isn't it wise to move away from the television cameras and the presence of the media and try and have a constructive conversation?
Nidhi, I don't think it's at all as simple as that, and unfortunately I largely disagree. I'll tell you why. Taking what you've just said to its logical conclusion, we should start conducting all foreign policy initiatives out of Indian soil as, for example, a truly sensitive issue like the Nagas was conducted, because from inception their demand was that we don't recognize India at all and we will therefore have it on foreign soil. Have we ever, with China, with whom we had a war, with Pakistan, done the following: conducted or restarted for probably the fourth or the fifth time in less than 18 months? Have we restarted on foreign soil? Have we had the degree of zigzag inconsistency in less than 18 months ever before? You see, it is good to talk to Pakistan, I am supporting it, but I am certainly not supporting a weekly weather-like change in Indo-Pak foreign policy. Where is the consistency? What are the red flags? What are the boundaries? What will make you run away from talks, Nidhi? Will a Hurriyat member coming to the Pak High Commission do it? Will a terror attack do it? Will this degree of statement do it, or will that degree of statement do it? We've seen it all in 18 months. So my basic problem is that there is no foreign policy I am finding, because it has to be coherent, consistent and known.
But Abhishek
And
Singhvi, I can
secondly,
tell you that a lot of
certainly
back
Indian foreign
channel
policy-
dialogue between India and Pakistan over the years has actually
Back
happened on
channel
foreign soil
dialogue-
in third countries, and that is why
I'm
they
sorry,
were able to do
I'm
it
sorry.
with some degree of success.
I am sorry, back channel diplomacy is a supplement, a supporting, a initiative which reinforces main diplomacy. When you have the main diplomacy going on in a consistent manner, when you have certain sensitive issues, of course we had Mr. Lamba doing it. But did we have that 1 week Mr. Lamba could not talk to Pakistan because the whole country was not talking, the next week the country was talking? You see, back channel, second, third channel is totally different.
Okay,
The
let me
problem
take that
with
to
this government
Siddharth
policy,
Singh.
just one
Yeah,
second,
yeah,
Nidhi,
yeah.
Nidhi, half a second. From the very great inauguration of the current Prime Minister till now, ask any observer of foreign policy or Indo-Pak relations. We can identify at least 8 zigzags. I've given you many of them.
Okay, so Siddharth
That
Singh,
is
the Congress
not to be
is
supplemented or replaced by back channel diplomacy in Bangkok.
Well, that is very front channel when it's the NSAs. But Siddharth Singh, how does the
Yes.
government and the BJP respond to the criticism of, as Abhishek Singhvi called it, a weekly weather-like change? That what really changed between when the NSA meetings were called off in August and now?
Well, Nidhi, I think the Congress spokespersons are as confused as the entire Congress party. There are different versions of appreciation and criticism coming from the Congress spokesperson since yesterday. Having said that, let me also now remind Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi that you have forgotten the times when you made U-turns from Sharm el-Sheikh to 2611 and bringing Baluchistan and many other U-turns you have referred. But let me put in last 18 months something which we have stuck on, and they are the red lines which we have stuck on. We will talk on terror, and terror is the biggest challenge between India and Pakistan relationship. The NSA talks called off because Pakistan refused to talk on terror. Now you can say that you are not meeting in Lahore, you are not meeting in Delhi, but there is an intent. Intent is to have a talk on terror, and within the ambit of terror, there are issues of Kashmir, because Kashmir, like rest of part of India, does get affected in terror. So therefore, no harm in talking Kashmir along with terror. So all those things have been maintained. As far as the Hurriyat is concerned, we maintain that Hurriyat cannot be the choice of Pakistan to first come and engage and then have a dialogue with the government of India. Yes, if they wish to have a dialogue with the elected government of Jammu and Kashmir, we will be more than happy. But certainly not with the Hurriyat. So red lines and red flags have been highlighted and they remain where they are. So now we have moved forward. Let us see how the Pakistan takes us another next step forward, because we have seen in the past that we need to be careful as a nation together, that Pakistan can go one step and then they come up with some certain other things. We know the complicities which exist in Pakistan and our relationship.
Abhishek Singhvi,
So
just
we're
30
keeping
seconds,
that in
please,
mind.
so that I can go to the rest of the
course
panel.
that has taken place,
Okay.
which is a step from the UFA, certainly is a welcome step.
Okay, Abhishek Singhvi, 30 seconds, please. Then I'd like to go to everyone else. Yeah.
First of all, let it be clear, there is no vacillation in the Congress stand. It is in fact an irony that the Congress welcomes the talks. What the Congress criticizes is the manner, zigzag methodology and lack of coherent policies. Secondly, please tell the nation what has changed from UFA or the terror talk or the JNK issue. That is it just that you are doing the same thing and making a pretense that you are not doing it here but doing it on Bangkok soil? Thirdly, will this become a paradigm for the future? It has never happened, Nidhi. What has happened is the policy is known and consistent in India. You may meet anywhere. This is actually stopping this policy working on India and suddenly restarting it in Bangkok. That is very weird. If this becomes a paradigm or a precedent for the future, it will be weird.
I want to get a perspective from Pakistan also on how this is going down there. And Moeed Pirzada, the editor of Strategic Affairs at Dunya TV, is joining us from Islamabad. And I just want to come to Moeed because we lose his signal, Siddharth, in a few minutes. But Moeed Pirzada, Manoj Joshi and myself were actually part of an India-Pakistan Track 2 media dialogue in Bangkok, literally the day before these talks happened. And Moeed Pirzada, it is actually very interesting that none of us in the media got even a whiff of this happening. But how do you see this, and how has the reaction been in Pakistan?
Nidhi, the general feeling in Pakistan is very cautious. It is understood in Pakistan that New Delhi is not prepared for a composite dialogue, nor for any substantive or meaningful engagement with Islamabad. And from time to time, when there is some sort of pressure or there is a change in domestic politics, maybe Bihar has actually forced Narendra Modi to think a little bit. And also because of the international pressure, because at this moment for the past several months, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was basically seen as a hardliner. And a lot of negative publicity India was getting because of other issues between the Hindus and Muslims. So in Islamabad, the view is this, that this is a bit of softening, but no one is really expecting any dramatic or substantive improvement. And one thing which was also discussed in Bangkok when I and you, Nidhi, were there, the perception in Pakistani media and also picked up by the Indian media that General Nasir Janjua is a military's appointment is not true. We know for sure that General Nasir Janjua is handpicked by Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif did not consult the military on it, and his principal reason for appointment is related to Balochistan, because he's seen to be an expert on the insurgency over there. And you know, the feeling is this, that when Ajit Doval and Nasir Janjua will talk to each other off the record, they will also be able to talk about Balochistan.
Very, very interesting point of view. Vivek Karju is here and he has a lot of things to say on this. Mr. Karju, interesting the view from Pakistan. They believe it's domestic pressure, international pressure, a softening perhaps by the government here, or is it just pragmatism?
Look, I think as far as our politicians are concerned, they should realize that no government in India, since the troubles in Kashmir began in 1989-90, has followed a consistent policy towards Pakistan, leave alone an effective policy. That is the record. The Congress spokesperson may say that they did not do topsy-turvy, but the record, documentary record of the 10 years of Dr. Manmohan Singh speaks otherwise. One had hoped that Prime Minister Modi will take lessons from it and then craft a consistent policy, but unfortunately that consistency has not been shown till now. I think what our Pakistani colleague on the panel is saying only confirms this. Why do I say this? The UFA text was crystal clear. The UFA text said that while all subjects will be discussed, sequentially terror would be discussed first and exclusively by the national security advisors in Delhi. Now, in August, I think correctly, Mr. Modi and his government said that this text must be honored. In December, that has been given up on two counts, both on the venue and on substantive issues. Now, whatever we may say on the venue, the hard fact is that the venue was Bangkok, not so much because of the glare of publicity, etc. Because if diplomacy cannot navigate through the media, then that's no diplomacy. It was to allow the Pakistani space on the Hurriyat. And there my question is that is this going to be the format all through now? That because the Pakistanis...
Is there anything wrong with that though? I'm asking you that.
No, no.
Even the Hurriyat is a complicated political question. If this is a way for the two countries to constructively engage,
please,
is that so bad?
Please, no country allows separatists to meet official interlocutors from another country. We did a wrong thing during Prime Minister Narasimha Rao's time. And I think it was to Mr. Modi's credit that he disallowed this. But he's now given in on that. And that's going to send a terrible signal to the generals. Because whatever our Pakistani colleague may say, ultimately the India policy is framed by the Pakistani generals and they sense weakness. And here they have an instinct where they'll see that Mr. Modi can be pushed like other Indian leaders have been pushed. And that is terrible. That does not mean that they see reasonableness as an asset. They see it as a weakness, and when they sense weakness, they tend to become adventurous. As
Mohit Pirzada has something to say.
history has shown over the past 70 years.
Nidhi, no one in Pakistan, even its wildest imagination, thinks that any force in Pakistan can push the hand of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In Pakistan, Indian scene is being seen with a lot of interest in the sense that it is the Congress and the liberal parties and the civil society in India that are forcing Narendra Modi to backtrack on some of the issues of his hardliner policies. No
on
force
Pakistan
in Pakistan,
policy,
forget about
domestically
Pakistani
it's
military.
different.
No, but Manoj Joshi,
But he's seen on defensive. He's seen on.
No, but
he's being seen on defensive.
My question is this: is it a sign of weakness on the Prime Minister's part to initiate another dialogue and have this meeting in Bangkok, or is it a sign of good leadership that you're willing to accommodate, to perhaps be pragmatic about the reality of the situation on the ground and be willing to engage? And there has to be give and take in diplomacy too.
Well, I certainly think it's a sign of wisdom.
Very smart.
Sign of wisdom.
I think it's a sign of wisdom when you batter your head against a wall. At some point, you realize that that's not going to work, and you take an alternate path. Look at Indian policy since the mid-80s. We have had a steady policy wherein we continue to engage Pakistan regardless of what Pakistan throws at us. That process has given us much strength. We have remained one. It's Pakistan which has suffered. And Pakistan is, from my own judgment, now realizes, and they want to backtrack. Now the point is, you want to rub their nose on the ground. That's not going to work. They're a proud people, just like we're a proud people. Now this is a process of flexible engagement, or flexible containment, if you want to call it, where we continue to keep our guard up. We continue to use all the resources at our command to prevent Pakistani terrorism and terrorist activity in India. But talking of terrorism, and Mr. said that Siddharthnath Singh talked about the whole big issue of terrorism. What do the figures show? The figures show Pakistan origin terrorism or militancy, if I may call it that, has declined ever since 2008. The figures are very clear on that. And yet, the big instances of domestic violence relate to the Maoists in central India and in the northeast. You can look at the figures in the South Asia terrorism portal. Yet, I find that this government has been raising this constant issue of terrorism all the time, and I think the goal was essentially to isolate Pakistan. Now what has happened is, over the last couple of months, we've seen that far from being isolated, Pakistan has gained a certain centrality, with even Russia trying to reach out to Islamabad. So what we see is that a policy that we are using terrorism, trying to isolate Pakistan, was a failure.
So you think it hasn't worked by making terror
the central
issue?
So basically, I think we've been wise that we've abandoned the path of relentless confrontation, a muscular policy, because muscular policy by itself will not work. See what it has led to. Yeah. It has led to a nuclearized Pakistan. It's led to a Pakistan which is a major threat to our country, to the security of our country, through the instrumentality of terrorism and through the instrumentality of nuclear weapons.